All right, good day. Hope that you're doing well. So we're going to be continuing with the questions from the November 2023 paper. So we're going to be doing question 8, which is based on measurement. Now they say on the diagram below, this represents an open tank. Now this is important. This tank is open, meaning that at the top, you don't have anything, right? So here at the top, you don't have anything, right? With a square base, right? And we are also told that our base is a square, and I'm also told that my base is a square. Now, they're giving me the volume, meaning that somewhere in my calculations, I would need to make use of this volume, right? And also here, they give me the formula of my volume. Now, determine h, which is the height in terms of x. Now, here we're going to make use of our given. So we're going to make use of this formula. V is equals to area of base multiplied by height. Now, my volume in this instance is 490. This is going to be equals to the area of my base. My base is a square. And remember, my square, it will be these two values multiplied to one another to get the area. So the area of my base, it will be x squared in this instance, x multiplied by x, right? All multiplied to my height, which is h. So they said I must make h to be in terms of x. So basically here, I'm going to get rid of this x squared by dividing it on both sides, right? So that these two could cancel out. And as a result, my h is going to be 490 divided by x squared. Now, we're going to make use of this value going forward when we will be doing our calculations. And you would see what do I mean by that. So now let us proceed to the next questions. Now, for the next question, they're telling us that, all right, show that the area of the external surface of the tank, it can be given by this formula. Now, remember, this is an open tank, right? So first, I'm trying to calculate the area of my 3D shapes, right? So I'm going to identify all these 2D shapes that form part of the overall 3D shape. So I'm going to start with my base. So I'm going to start off with my base. Remember, I don't have the top because this is an open tank. Now my base is a square. Its area is going to be equals to x squared. Now all these sides are rectangles, right? Because this here it's x and this here it's h. These two are not the same. So hence these sides cannot be squares. So how many rectangles do I have? I have one, two on the sides, and then I have one at the front and the other at the back. So in total, I have 4 rectangles. And the area for my rectangle, it's the formula for the area of my rectangle, it's length times breadth, right? So as a result, this I can write it like this: x multiplied by h. This is the formula for my rectangles. Now, because I have 4 rectangles, the total area for these 4 rectangles is going to be 4 multiplied to x times h. Now, if I were to write down, remember it must be in this form, right? So it should be x squared, which is the area of my base, it's fine, plus the area of my 4 rectangles, which is 4 multiplied by x times h. All right, so this is my area formula. But remember, my answer should be like that, right? And before I told you that we would need to make use of that h on the preceding questions. As you could see, this is in terms of x only, right? So I would need to get rid of this h by substituting the h that I've calculated before, which is in terms of x. So here, this would be the same as x squared plus 4x multiplied to my h, which is 490 over x squared. All right. Now, here, this x squared, as I've said, the x squared is already fine, right? The only adjustment that needs to be made is on the other side. So here, the x squared, I'm just going to write it as it is. Plus, now here, I'm going to multiply numerator by numerator as well as denominator by denominator. Now, doing so, 4x multiplied to 490, this would be equals to 1960x. And 1 multiplied by x squared, this would still be x squared. Now, this x is going to cancel out with one of the x's at the bottom. As a result, my area formula is going to be equals to x squared plus 1960 all over the remaining x, which is here. Right. Now, we have proved our area formula that is equals to our given. Now, if we are given that the height, which is the preceding question, if we're given that the height is 10 centimeters, calculate the external surface area of the tank. Now, if you note, this area formula is in terms of x values, and we are given the height. So I need to solve for my x using this that I've calculated before, right? I know that the height is 10 in accordance to my given. Now I need to solve for my x so that I could substitute it into my area formula, and I would be able to find the overall area for my tank. Now, first, I'm going to get rid of this x squared by multiplying it on both sides. And as a result, 10 multiplied by x squared, this is going to be equals to 490. And because I'm looking for x, get rid of this 10, divide it on both sides. My x squared is going to be equals to 490 divided by 10. Right? Now, here, to get rid of the squared, I'm going to square root both sides. Right? As a result, my x, it will be equals to the square root of 49. Now, my x in this instance, it will be equals to 7. And I'm going to take this x, substitute it into my area formula. So this here, it's 7 squared plus 1960 divided by 7. And punching this into my calculator, I'm going to get my area, which would be equals to 329 centimeter cubed. And this would be my final answer. All right. Now remember, what was the catch with regards to this question? You needed to make note of the fact, or rather, you needed to know that this is an open tank, and as a result, it wouldn't have a shape at the top, right? Remember, if ever you have any questions, always feel free to reach out.